Hey guys, it's me, the X whatever, here today. And today we're doing What If Deku Was in the Surge. Episode 1 or Part 1. Up to you guys what you want for it, but I'll start it. after after the USJ, all the Class 1A students made it out alive, except for one. One took the fall extremely, and his sacrifice was his legs. And of course, Bakuro felt such relief that he's not going to be stuck in class with Deku, but everyone else hardly knew Deku, so they didn't have any much feelings. And Oraka said this to Deku as he was lying, crying due to the pain. She said to him in his ear, "I always knew that this would happen." As she goes to Bakugo as Oraka being kissing Bakuro in front of Deku. As she says, how could I ever love you? Smiles. And blacks out. However, All Might listened to this and it was so fucked up, but he knew that Midoriya had needed to be able to walk, but he can't be a hero if he cannot be able to walk. So Midoriya said to All Might, as he was in the hospital, says, All Might, do you want your quirk back? As All Might just sat there and just says, young man, you have proven yourself to me. And I'm afraid, yes, I may have to take that quirk from you, Midoriya-kun. I am terribly sorry, All Might saying. As Deku's like, a villain's popped out of nowhere, All Might smiles. And the transfer begun. However, this was just a flashback. We go to Deku waking up on a train, as we have the guide that sings, "Welcome to Creole, the most advanced company in the world. You want a vacation?" As the guy begins going on and on about, Deku's like, man, when's that guy ever gonna shut up? As he finally gets to his stop, he begins pushing his wheelchair. And he didn't know where to go, so he asked the security forces that were over the rail or right next to the station, and they said, "Oh, okay, kid." So, and this was 6 months ago. However, this is just going to be a coincidence, but I want to say, Momo and Shields and Melissa and Juno went to the factory because Momo had tickets. However, Melissa was there just to study their tech there. They study how they did this, how they did that. Momo's dad was really rich, and she was actually going there to see if she could be a co-worker or a CEO. However, shit, just give me a minute. My brain's processing right now, okay, so. As Deku's moving his wheelchair, Melissa saw Deku, but they never met each other. This is the first time they've met. However, she meets Momo, and they introduce themselves. "Oh, hello, Miss my name's Momo Eyes Rosu. What's yours?" "Oh," she says, my name's Militia Shield." And she says, wait, the Shield? The guy that made All Might's suits? And his, equipment?" As she shakes her head, "Whoa, that's amazing." As Juno's like, "Whoa, I didn't know I didn't know you were here." As Juno and them begin talking about how she got there and why was she there and why were they there. Juno just wanted to tag along and just support like Momo for, you know. Oh yeah, once the fucking like thing happens, like the whole facility, and also Momo actually tagged along with Momo. You know what? I'm gonna say Class 1 is gonna try to rescue them, but no, Orok is not there, fucker. I'm gonna say when Deku finds her, he's gonna throw a sword in her leg, and that's will be the end of that discussion. But I'll get to it. As Deku's going down the curve, he hesitates as he wonders. So if I work here, they basically own me, because Deku signed papers that were experimental. He says he read the documents and it says you will be able to walk again, but we'd have to own you. And Deku was completely fine with that. However, you guys have decided in the comments on my live stream for Deku. Deku will have Rhino. As Deku goes to Creole, goes to the lab. He goes to the room where the machines are beginning to install the things to install everything in his body. So yeah, if watch my live stream, you see what I mean. He was, but as soon as his patient is sedated, which it made an error. Deku was not fucking sedated. So he's being the parts are being put into him and drilled into his like flesh and bone, and he's screaming like hell. He's like saying, "Stop! Stop! There's no anesthesia!" But the room was soundproof, as he thought, as it just got done doing like his whole body, and now it was for the neural link. As Melissa heard someone, she didn't hear someone screaming, but she felt like someone was in a lot of pain. She didn't know why. However, that's when it happened. As soon as Deku woke up, he woke up doing a scrap drum that was dragging his leg, and he's like, "Get off of me!" He kicks it into a wall. However, this just attracts other drones, and he's like, "Fuck, what am I gonna fucking do?" He looks on the ground. He finds a metal pipe that has it's a bit sharp on the edge, on the front of the weapon. As he begins smashing all the scrap drones into pieces, his suit, as as soon as he finished scrapping all the drones, he was taking a breath in, and he says, "I'm fucking alive." Or I should have said this, guys. I can fucking walk. Because Deku felt during the 6 months, Deku just felt useless to his mother. But I want to say that Creole actually said to Momo that they can't use their quirks, and they put bracelets on them. But if they touch it again, if they attempt to take it off once, it shocks them. But if they try to take it off like a second time, it explodes. However, Melissa doesn't get one because she doesn't have a quirk. But before I say anything, only probably if Deku's gonna find Melissa first, and she was actually in the repair yard, and a huge explosion happened, and she was knocked out, and she got locked in a room basically. Juno would be at. Hmm. Juno's gonna be at where the room is locked as well. And Momo is just gonna be like under some rubble unconscious, and Deku finds her. As Deku begins climbing up, Deku begins walking up a hill of just sand and just scrap and just rocket parts all surrounding him. He looked up and he just saw the force field that was covering the whole sea, like the Creole facility. And Deku's like, fuck. Looks like the damn system's still on. And okay, explanation: why is there a shield? Reason one: to prevent villains from coming in with quirks, and to prevent any communication with outside world, with any of the outside, any communications that are being broadcasted or being downloaded, like, or being transferred to somewhere. But the coworkers are allowed to send their families messages, which they allowed. However, when Deku finally got up, he found two more scrap drones. He hid behind a corner, and and he he hit something underneath him. It was a little pebble, or a piece of metal or something. He threw it over there as the first drone went to investigate. The second drone went to follow him, but Deku slashed it in half and threw his weapon at the other drone, and the drone latched onto the wall. Deku be at okay. Deku began going to grab it. He begins yanking, but it was no use. It was stuck there. So Deku tried harder. It came off, but he noticed it didn't look as sharp anymore. And he's like, "God damn it! Looks like I've dulled my weapon." And Deku's gonna find this weapon first from an enemy he's gonna kill. Okay. But he's not gonna get that yet because he needs his rig fully operational. Because he can't get that weapon because he can only aim for weak spots that don't have any armor on. Whatever. However, enemies that have armor are pretty fucking tough to kill. So Deku tries to find pieces of the armor that are exposed. Sorry guys, I want to charge my phone. Because if you guys are down for a texting story, I'm down for it. Okay, we're good. Okay, I'll continue it. As Deku's saying fuck over and over again because he just broke the only weapon that was keeping him alive. It still did damage, but the damage was lessened a lot. However, he heard some drones. He heard a scrap drone, but however, a security drone rammed him. A security drone shot a laser into his arm. As Deku flinched, screamed in pain. As there was a second one about to fire a huge laser at him. It fires, but Deku moves out of the way to dodge it. As he begins running to the security drone, but the scrap drone lunges at Deku, like knocking him a metal into a rocket or a rocket shell or fuel cartridge, and he saw that it okay. He saw that it was leaking. It begun leaking. As drone fired its shot, Deku dashed over the edge. He fell back to where he was, and a huge explosion happened. As Melissa woke up due to the explosion, she was like, "Where am I?" As she as she looks around, she knows that she's in like the room where you store a bunch of like parts. But however, all the parts were all completely fried and burnt, so she couldn't make anything to break out of there. As she was saying, if she was as she was calling for help, Deku couldn't hear her because Deku couldn't hear her because she he was because she, Deku couldn't hear her because she was too far away from him. As Deku's like, "Damn it!" As Deku begins trying to get up, but he can't. He looks. He begins looking at his arm, and there's a huge piece of metal stuck into it. As he begins going towards his right arm, and begins pulling it out of his shoulder, as he just takes a deep breath in and just says, "This is gonna hurt like a motherfucker, but it's gonna be. I'm gonna deal with it." As he pulls it out, a bunch of blood begins spewing out of the arm. Deku tried to put a lot of pressure, but it was not doing anything. So Deku tried his best, but he was bleeding too much, and that's when he remembered that the instruction manual said there was a med bay, there was a med station nearby. He was hoping that it wasn't damaged at all. He went back to where he destroyed the scrap drones, and he found the med bay. However, the med bay just healed his arm, not any more of his injuries because his power core for his rig was damaged, so that's all it could heal for now. As Deku is like, "Fuck." Looks like that's all it's gonna repair. Like that looks like that's all that's gonna fix my arm for now. And I'm gonna say it did not do a good job because it just burnt Deku's arm to where Deku will have a scar there now. But he cannot move his fucking arm. Deku's gonna have to rely on his left arm for fighting. But due to his weapon being almost breaking apart, I'm gonna say his weapon's gonna be broken as soon as he like kills about like 4 enemies. Okay. As he begins walking out, the door begins opening, and he looks up and sees a scrapper gatherer. And he says, "Oh, fuck. I hope I don't have to fight that thing." As he begins flying away, as Deku coughs, like says, I haven't seen the sun, and the sun, it's pretty bright. As Deku begins walking down the stairs and taking a right, he sees someone. He just says, coming up from the ground, he says, "Hey, hey you!" He begins running over and says, hey buddy, do you know what happened?" As the guy stabs Deku in the legs, like, "Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, as Deku punches him in the face, where there's no armor, like knocking him 2 feet. But as the guy gets up, and Deku looks in his eyes, and the blade and the weapon pulled out of Deku's leg, and he was like, "Fuck." As Deku's trying to like get some sense into this guy, the guy didn't respond, and Deku's like, "Fuck." Whatever happened must have fucked. Whatever happened must have messed some people up, or messed their link up. Fuck. As Deku's like, looks like I have to kill someone. As the guy being like charging to Deku, he lunges at Deku, but however Deku dodges and grabs the guy's neck with grabs the guy's neck and throws him to the ground, and Deku throws his fucking weapon in the guy's head to the guy's through the fucking guy's head, killed him instantly. As Deku felt so horrible for what he did, he just had to shrug it off. He knew he's probably will go to jail, but he probably won't even be able to go to jail because the force field will still be up, and the only way to disable that is to launch the prototype in the atmosphere. Launch a missile to destroy the force field. So, but before I start, guys, please tell me in the comment section, do you love this series? I'm not ending it right now. I want to keep going because I'm really motivated for you guys, because, yeah. But anyway. Yeah, Deku's wearing a fucking hoodie, so. Yeah, and if you're gonna wonder how the fuck does he change, because he can't get rid of that fucking suit if you're in that suit. You can't get changed. You physically fucking can't. I'm gonna say that. Oh wait, the med station can change his clothes in an instant. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that's how he does that. So Melissa's been in there for 2 days. In the room for 2 days, but it took 2 days to pull himself. It took Deku 2 days to pull himself together. He really didn't want to kill anymore, but he had to. However, his weapon was a bit more broken than it was before. He knew that one more hit would kill. Would one more swing of this and it would break. And that's when Deku finds another enemy. Finds another enemy. You know what? Guys, you know what I just said about the 2 days? No, just fuck that. I just messed up there, so don't pretend I didn't say that. Please, but I'll get to it. As Deku begins putting his hand on a cargo crate, trying to push himself up, or pull himself up, basically. He begins turning the corner, and he sees another one, but the blade for that thing looked like the one that the guy's has in his hand. Deku began trading blows with him. Deku manages to kill the guy by suffocating the guy with Deku's weapon, like pushing it into his neck so hard that he could not breathe anymore. And these guys, there's so much of them. But as Deku was going, okay, but as Deku was going to, let me just think. As Deku was trying his no. Let me just redo that, guys. Let me think a minute. Hmm. I'm just messing up a lot here, I know, guys. So please don't criticize me, okay? I'm literally trying to figure out stuff, okay? He kills the guy. He begins going straight towards the assembly line. He finds a guy slamming his head on a wall over and over again. And Deku notices behind his back is a core that's operational. Because all the enemies that Deku found there were most of the cores were like his or broken and could not be used. Because as soon as Deku started fighting them, they would short circuit. So Deku goes behind him, behind the guy, and swings his weapon into his back, like slicing through the endoskeleton, making the guy fall to the ground, bleeding to death, as the guy did not make any noise at all. It was like making this noise. It was like he didn't know, like he wasn't a person anymore. As Deku pulled out the power for his rig, Deku began going back to the med bay, as he was almost losing consciousness due to the amount of blood loss he was losing. He was actually holding his leg the entire time to keep pressure on his wound. He manages to do it. He manages to get to the med bay, but however, uh, but however, however, Deku didn't realize that he killed more people than he thought he would. And the second time he killed, it felt easier. Third, enjoyable. He was wondering if he was becoming a villain. But this was Deku almost losing consciousness and almost dying of blood loss on the stairs. He was struggling. And he was like, okay. As he begins crawling to the med station, he gets up the stairs and begins crawling towards the med station. He goes up the small stairs that are going to the med station. As Deku puts out his hand, the med station's arms grab Deku's arm and puts him into the table, and then begins replacing the rig power cell with the new one, and that one was pretty fucking useful. As Deku finally got his arm finally fixed, the bones have been healed up. The bones have been replaced with new bone tissue. And as Deku's leg was also fixed up, but however, he's gonna have a scar on his leg and on his shoulder. And that's when Deku gets out of the med bay and just says, that's better. As Deku's trying to contact anyone, and there is no I'm gonna say the AI is still there, but it's broken. It just hasn't come online yet. As Deku tries to contact someone on the computer, he's like, "Hello, is there anyone there?" As militia did manage to make something, but it was only a walkie-talkie. As she was like almost like losing her mind, being stuck in there. And she's like, as she hears someone talking on the radio, and she says, "Hello, hello, who is this?" And Deku's response is like, "Wait, wait, are you a survivor too?" And she's like, "Yeah, my name's Melissa Shield. Yours? What's your name? Please tell me your name." As Deku's like, Izuku Midoriya. As she was like, oh, well, Izuku, or Izuku, where are you at right now? Because I am stuck in a room and I cannot get out. As Deku's like, mm, uh, I'm, oh, I'm near the rail section. Sorry guys, I can't remember the fucking name which I just described where Deku is. The train yard. No. The junk. I'm gonna say it's the junkyard. Fuck it. He's in the junkyard area, as she says. As he says, I'm in the junkyard area. As Melissa says, you're close. As Melissa says, wait, you're in the junkyard area? As he says, yeah. As she just says, well, do you know what happened? As Deku's like, no, I woke up a few hours ago. As Melissa says, oh, that's unfortunate. As Deku says, but here's the information I have so far. As Melissa puts her walkie-talkie on the table and begins listening. As Deku says, the people here are not the same. They'll kill you on sight. So you're pretty damn lucky that you didn't encounter one of them or fought one. As Melissa says, what do you mean? As Deku begins saying, you know how some of the workers that are not supposed to kill, that have a protocol that if they killed someone, they would immediately self-terminate? As Melissa says, yeah? As Deku says, well, I just killed someone. As Melissa says, I killed someone and the thing in my head didn't explode. As Melissa says, wait, what? As Deku begins explaining about how it must have, short-circuited, and all the other people that are just in the building, that are in the factory where Melissa is dangerous for her to stay there, and how Deku's gonna come get her to get her out, and just being discussing a plan of what to do. But that's where I'm gonna be ending the video off. I know you want more. If you guys want more, please hit that like button. Also, I will do a face reveal when we reach 5,000 fucking subscribers. I know we can do it, guys. Even though I know people won't watch my YouTube videos, I just like you, because you guys like my videos, though, so please enjoy. Oh, wait, that's the boss. Deku's gonna be fighting that. He's not gonna be fighting two. But I hope you guys would enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you all in my next video.